back. Psychedelic here. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing pretty fine myself. Just got off work, so kind of felt like making a video, in the mood for it. So got a lot of stuff lined up for today. Got one online find, lots of LPs to share from 2 or 3 weeks ago now, when I went to the antique shop down in southeast Nebraska. It was a killer picking, I'll tell you. I just don't get those kind of picks every day like a lot of people do, and it was just kind of exciting to see stuff that, it just left untouched yet. Came out with some cool 45s, and I'll probably get to those at the end of the video, but I want to kind of go through a few of these other things first. The online find, and Matt Sands was having an auction here on YouTube and managed to scoop one of them up, and got some garage sale finds from last weekend as well. So kind of a variety of stuff, variety of genres, so some stuff may surprise you, but some of the stuff I think I'm going to flip as well. That's kind of why I bought it so cheap. Found some stuff for 50 cents, and it's always nice when they're asking that much. But I'm going to start with this one first. So this had been on my want list probably ever since I first got on Discogs, 5 or 6 years ago now. And ever since then, I've never been able to see a copy reach the US for sale, at least the pressing I was having on my want list. But finally obtained this one. This is Majority One with their One and Lonely self-titled from '71. It originally came out in France. They relocated to France in 1970, I want to say, or 1969. They were originally under the name The Majority in the UK. Just kind of modified their name a little bit. Had some singles prior on Decca label, and there's just a various amount of copies pressed back in the day on different labels from different countries. The one to avoid though is the Brazilian press, which I've not heard good things about naturally, but I decided to pick this one up on the Finger label, which is distributed by Polydor. And this came out in '73, so sometimes the years vary a little bit too. This is a fantastic pop psychedelic sort of thing. Lots of different flavors going on here. The opening track could be, predating some power pop moves with Feedback. Opening track's just a great catchy, infectious tune. Rainbow Rocking Chair, which may have been a single of theirs. Not really one weak track for me. I find this one to be very strong record. They did have a minor hit in the Netherlands and a few other countries with Because I Love. It's got some, some views online if you look it up. Kind of a cool cover, the negative image there. Kind of stands out, but I feel like this one's quite slept on at the same time. Got a great deal on this one. Yeah, what else can I say? So, stylistically, like I said, pop psych, they do rock out a little bit. There was one moment here on the record that I totally forgot about, the closing track. Roger Lafrite. It's like a 7-minute track. There's literally 3 minutes of just this up-tempo acid guitar freak out section. It's amazing. I was listening to this last night and I was like, damn, I don't remember this. It sounds like a totally different band. They kind of have a Badfinger sort of approach, very pop oriented, very harmony driven. It's also got, a faint touch of World of Oz, and definitely inspired by late 60s Bee Gees if they were a little more, psych oriented. Mostly a Baroque pop band, but it's got some Baroque touches as well, some string arrangements, but all in all, very tasteful, very quality pop record that should receive attention. So yeah, this is highly regarded over at Psychedelics pad. So this is a very good one. I think there is some footage online of them playing. I didn't get to look at that yet, but yeah, Lone Wolf. So check her out. Okay, and then I won this one from Matt's live auction going on. There's a couple other items I was interested in. That Judy Henske, Jerry Esther album, which I was vaguely familiar with before, but I think I lost the bid on that one, and I listened to that again at work, and I was like, man, it's got some nice originality to it. It'll hit me down the road, but I figured I'd pick this one up. I was surprised no one else bid on this. The opening bid was $5, and I've been kind of needing a copy. I know the local store has this one, but this is Crabby Appleton, but they're kind of asking a little more than I want to pay for it. This is their first of 2 albums on the Elektra label. This came out in like '70. Speaking of power pop, this is definitely a precursor to some of that power pop sound, especially with the minor hit single they had, Go Back. And you can still find that single in thrift shops, you know. I just found it recently. You know, of course it was trashed, but you still find it. Otherwise, nothing really tops that track, but this does seem to get hampered on quite a bit. You know, people calling it kind of mediocre and whatnot, but I don't know. The more you listen to it, they do have a sound that, you know, they kind of find their comfort zone, you know. I want to say maybe it's more of like a progressive pop sound, so it's not like tunes that'll really catch on, you know, naturally, or that'll be sticking out with you memorably throughout the day, but it's kind of one that just kind of leans in, and you can definitely tell there's some arrangements here that were, you know, they were working on. So my other favorite track on here, Hunger for Love. It's like a 7-minute piece near the end of the album. The closing track was a little weak for me, but otherwise, you know, some ballady stuff. Sometimes there's a little bit of pretentious, maybe progressive rock moves in their line of sight, but not too bad overall. Clean copy here on Elektra. So thank you very much, Matt, for sending me this my way. And yeah, this gets a thumbs up for me. I really do dig it now. I was vaguely familiar with it before, but I kind of wanted to get the LP experience, you know. Sometimes it always hits different. So those are basically the online finds. And then we're going to share, this is the stuff I picked up over the weekend, so all this stuff I'm just going to kind of flip through kind of fast. This is a band I never heard of before, the Railway Children. It's got some moisture issues going on there, but turns out to be some sort of like jangle pop group. Vinyl's in nice shape. Doesn't sell for a whole lot, but I think I might just give it to the shop, see if they'll take it. This is all kind of stuff for trade. This one I haven't listened to yet. This is Tim Hardin 2. I've never seen that Verve Forecast sticker before. Kind of curious why they slapped that on there, because I think underneath it is Verve Forecast printed on there. But I imagine this is sort of straightforward folk singer-songwriter. You can still find this really cheap. I mean, this is just, I mean, it was 50 cents. Can't go wrong there, you know. Just trying stuff out, you know. I'll take anything for 50 cents. Then I found this. This is still in the shrink wrap. This is Martha and the Vandellas, Watch Out. This is, I think, a Motown group, girl group, back in the day. It's missing a sleeve yet, but record's in decent shape. It's cleaned up pretty well, but I'll have to find a sleeve for it. It's on the Gordy label. Christine McVie, clean copy here. Send this in for some trade. And then kind of surprised to find this. Too bad it wasn't the debut by the Queen herself, Aretha Franklin. This is Aretha Arrives, still in the shrink. And this is a nice copy. Cleaned up pretty well. Had a little bit of moisture marks, but they just came off real nice with the microfiber. So this is kind of her, I think it's kind of more of gospel inspired perhaps, but still got some good tunes on it. She does Satisfaction, 96 Tears, Baby I Love You. The closing track's pretty good. So oftentimes when I see her albums, you know, they're completely trashed. So anyways, yeah, those were all 50 cents. So pretty cool pickups overall. 2-3 weeks ago, headed down southeast Nebraska just on a whim, had a free day, so made an unexpected stop at this little shop, and it's kind of more like a barn, you know, it's kind of this rustic barn looking thing. They alphabetized all these records. They said this collection just came in and they just alphabetized it.
The comfort of today is gone. You say that life goes on and you don't need her. But then, when tomorrow comes, the morning light, you'll feel
You know, of course, naturally a lot of chud, you know, just a lot of throwaway stuff, but there were some gems to be found, and perhaps I skipped over some, I'm not really sure, but this was the first one that stood out to me. It's kind of a worn copy, but it's Black Sabbath, Paranoid. Reason I picked this up, I sold my old copy. This is on the green label. It plays, but it's a little rough. I tried taking this into the shop and he wouldn't take it, maybe due to a mark that he saw or something, but I played it and, you know, it's still enjoyable, except for, like, of course, Planet Caravan, but you just don't see green label Sabbath, you know, for cheap. So scooped it up. I'd love to have, like, you know, Vertigo Sabbath down the road, you know, especially their debut record. So yeah, this is kind of a weird territory we're going into. So for you private press, you know, gospel aficionados, this is going to be up your alley. This is a cool one though. This is Summer Winds. This is, just took a blind chance on this one just by the whole presentation here. Got some cute looking fella down the back there. Might be related to Robin Gibb. This is super private press. This is a lounge group, and this is taken from a master tape, and they recorded this at the Ramada Inn in Rock Falls, Illinois, back in '78, I believe, or '77, October 22nd. So that date's coming up. But yeah, a lot of cheesy covers on here, but just the way they play them, you know, it just kind of naturally pours out of them, and you can just hear it on this tape, you know, that they recorded it. It's just very cheap, very, you can just smell the cigarette smoke in that lounge room, and, you know, you can hear the guests in the back, you know, chatting about while all these songs are playing, and it's just got a really cool, natural vibe about it. And if you guys know my other channel, Cosmic Minds, I've uploaded 3 highlights from here so far. They do Shake Your Booty by Casey and the Sunshine Band. They do Peppermint Twist, Caravan. I don't know if that's like a original track or not, but there's like a drum solo, which is kind of cool to hear. And Muskrat Love from Captain and Tennille. It's kind of dreamy, it's kind of trippy actually when you listen to it, so check her out. I don't think this is on Discogs, so I might be adding it on there soon. This is one, I think it had like one highlight on there. I didn't upload it though. He's the Real Thing. I think it's like a take on the Coke motto. Gospel group out of South Dakota. This is a local thing, the Crusaders. It's called Love. It's got a couple moments where they kind of get a little funky. It's got some wah guitar on it. Uploaded the 2 highlights on my other channel. So yeah, recorded in Lincoln, based from Firth, Nebraska. I think I've seen that record around before, but I just never picked up on it till now. This cover was intriguing. I don't know what this is. The Castins and Steve Rose. And when I looked this up on Discogs, it looks like this is a pressing that's not on there. This is like an American pressing. The other one is like a Portugal pressing or something. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, just look at the presentation, man. I mean, it just looks so primitive and bare bones on the back. And they have like this luxurious printed colorful artwork on the front. You know, I just take everything by presentation, just kind of how it looks, you know. Sometimes that's the best way. Let's see. Sounds of Heaven, Melanie Johnson. Couple cool moments on here. and I've uploaded them, so you guys can check all these out. My other channel. You know, even if you don't like gospel music, I mean, you know, you can still find cool musical content, you know, within. My boy, Bob Dolan. This is also another local guy who is known for doing Elvis imitations, and this is like him kind of stepping away from that, kind of like a Rick Saucedo or whatever his name is. Signed on the back here. It's got a couple interesting moments. Nothing too fancy. And then I think this is the last one of the LPs. This is New Birth by the New Village Singers. If I remember right, I think this pulls for a little bit of money online. And I listened to a little bit of this, and this is kind of more soft rock oriented, but it's definitely got that Christian vibes going on. It sounds pretty good from what I've heard. It's kind of got this kind of luscious, you know, late 70s commercial sound, but, you know, kind of in a more homemade fashion, if that makes any sense. Okay, and then we're moving on to the 45s here. Just kind of flipping through these, but these 45s are badass, let me tell you. This is the highlight for sure. And at first, when I first looked at this, I had no idea what I had. But then once I looked at the label, I'm like, oh yeah, this totally makes sense, you know. So this is One Day Girl, Burlington Express on the Cavern Records label. If you guys know your Numero group comps, Cavern Sounds basically was the underground cave around the Kansas City area. And a lot of recording artists would go there, including that Michelangelo record was recorded there as well. A lot of great garage and psych was pressed there, including this one. And this track is on that Numero comp. Totally would have overlooked that had I not known about the, you know, looked at the label a little more until I investigated online. But I was like, dang, it's a good pickup. Mostly garage oriented. Kind of a moody teen garage with some fuzz in there. This is a cool one. This is actually from one of the garage sales I went to. This is Aldine Roughneck Paycheck with Just One of the Boys. Looks like it sells for a little bit online. It's on the Stop label, which I've seen around before. It's kind of a country thing. This is probably the most valuable one, according to Discogs anyway, that I picked up on. Maxine Brown. We Can Work It Out. Of course, a Beatles cover. And I forget the whole title, but it's kind of punched out there. Which, this is the better side, I feel like. And I got a lot of these up for sale on Discogs, you can see. I do grade pretty strictly, like a lot of people should. It does look great when you look at it in the light. But of course it's got, you know, just light surface noise, but it plays pretty well. So it seems to pull, you know, up near $200 in clean shape. And this is on the USA label. So once I saw this, I was like, oh, I hope this is good. And this is kind of more funk soul oriented. More Luck to You Baby with Hey Little Girl. You can just look all these up online if you're curious. Mickey McCullers, Same Old Story. Who you gonna run to? Another on the Juan label. Chuck Jackson, Good Things Come to Those Who Wait. Well, I waited for that majority one, so that's a very fitting title. Yeah! And this is a cool one. There's a very collectible record on this label I'm trying to look for. That's a Omaha group, the Chevrons. It's on this label. This is MMC, The Coachman, Tell Her No by the Zombies. And I actually already have this 45, but still got to pick them up when you see it. It's kind of a garage band, mostly famous for Mr. Moon. These guys are based out of Lincoln. And this is the highlight, Time Won't Change. Very cool. This is I'm Leaving by Gary and Gary. Gary's got a duplicate out there. Juice is Wild, missing part of the label. Got 3 more here. This is a cool one. So this is Rebel Right. I said the wrong thing with What Am I Going to Do? Pretty rough shape, but I had to figure out what this was. This is based out of Falls City, Nebraska, which is kind of the area I'm digging in. And it's very low-key, very minimal, kind of a brooding, you know, very swamp-like country sound. It was kind of weird. Hopefully I can clean this up a little more, if possible. I mean, or just kind of seek out more copies, because this is, I imagine people would really want this. Someone like, what's his name? I Buy Old Records, who would love something like that. Tongue Tied by Millie Small. She had a very interesting voice, I'll tell you that. Bloodshot Eyes. These are all very cool singles. I mean, they're mostly pop soul oriented, but they're very good for what they are. And this is a cool piece. I have to return to this one. I only heard it like once when I streamed it, because someone did upload the tracks online, and this is the Johnsons. Now when you look at this, you might think, oh god, this is going to be some kind of a boring gospel piece. I Believe in You, and it's the other track, Rainmaker. The Rainmaker. This is actually pretty dope. This is a good song. It's kind of, again, sort of a low-key, almost garage production sounding, vocal-oriented folk pop. This is very good, actually. And I think this came out like maybe the late 70s or something. Based out of Iowa, so it makes sense being local. Just love finding stuff that's local, and I have never heard of it or read up on it. So yeah, I'm missing part of the sleeve, but you know, it's how you find them. Anyways, guys, that about wraps it up. So hope you guys enjoyed. Lots to discover out there. And for the most part, check out Majority 1. Yeah, this is one that's kind of slept on. And like I said, hopefully I can get away with uploading the closing track in the intro here. So if so, you've already heard it. Check it out. So take care, and we'll see you down the road.